Hi guys, and welcome back to Maltbox, the non-chill filtered whiskey blog. I'm Andy and I'm back here today with another whiskey review. I hope you're all well and keeping safe, etc. Now, the whiskey that I'm going to be looking at today is quite fitting actually that I'm saying that to you. It is a whiskey from Scotland. It is a whiskey from what is currently Scotland's northernmost mainland distillery. Now, some of you might be saying, oh, Old Pulteney. Incorrect. It is actually Wolfburn. It is going to be superseded very shortly by a distillery that I will touch on at some point. Now, the whiskey that I'm looking at, it is, I might as well get it out there, it is not a core range bottling, it is a limited edition. So the likelihood of all of you watching this video, if you are watching, firstly thank you, being able to get hold of one of these may have been slim. I didn't get to purchase this when it first got released direct by Wolfburn because demand was so high, and understandably so. I managed to pick it up from another retailer afterwards, which is really, really good. It's this Wolfburn single malt supporting, so this is charity bottling, supporting the Ukrainian humanitarian appeal. Now, I don't get political on this blog. I won't get political in terms of domestic issues, should we say, because that's not what I'm about. I'm just here to talk about whiskey, but I kind of feel like I need to talk about this particular bottling and the reasons as to why it is being released. Now, there is the box, very, very fetching. You've got obviously the nice Ukrainian colours there, along with the Ukrainian defence logo. So we all know what's going on in the world. We've not got our heads in the sand. I don't need to tell you how horrific things are over in the Ukraine at the moment. It is disgraceful, disgusting and abhorrent. And I think all the people responsible need to have a hard look at themselves before going for a swim with some concrete shoes on. So that aside, what Wolfburn have done, given millions of refugees flooded into places like Poland, Lithuania, Germany, the UK, to escape the atrocities that are going on in that country, regrettably. They've released this bottling in order to support the humanitarian appeal, raise funds. It's a charity bottling. So here's the bottle. Now, I'll be honest, this is, and I think I've touched on this before, Wolfburn have been very much off my radar. I tried their spirit very early on. It didn't blow me away, and I thought, you know what, I'll go away for a few years and wait. I've recently reviewed the Aurora on this channel, really enjoyed it, pleasantly surprised, I'll be honest. And this is the first full bottle of Wolfburn that I've ever purchased. Now, I purchased this for 60 quid, I think it was 59.95 off the top of my head. Now, again, just to touch on this, Wolfburn did sell these direct initially, and when you tried to go on the website at release time, it crashed. The queue was insane. It was something like 3 hours in the queue. You are, position 6,997 of 7,000 and that kind of thing. But you know what? I didn't get annoyed because I'm just glad that people bought them. It's a good cause. I don't care. I didn't care if I got one or not. I just happened to be very lucky that it was my birthday and I was purchased this for my birthday recently. From, again, another retailer, Tyndrum Whisky, basically the Green Welly stop. I think they might still have a couple in stock, but I'm not too sure. Now, on the bottle, we're already being told, non-chill filtered, 46%, and on the other side, natural colour. So, I mean, I'm going to show you the label again, because it's just lovely. It's really nice. It's a nice touch. So, hopefully you can see that, but that should be saying natural colour, and there's your non-chill filtered, 46%. Now, this whiskey is it is a whiskey that's been matured in ex-bourbon quarter casks, I believe. It doesn't tell you on the box or on the bottle what it has been matured in. However, I went onto Whiskey Base and it was entered on there 50 litre, I think, maybe, off the top of my head, I could be wrong, ex-bourbon quarter casks, which is weird. I've tried whiskies from quarter casks, such as, the famous Lefroy quarter cask, for example, and also some of the English from the Norfolk distillery, St George's, that have done some single casks in ex-red wine quarter casks and stuff like that, which have been really good. So just to reiterate, guys, the ultimate intention for this is nothing to do with, well, I suppose it is a little bit political in a way by default, but this is to support the people of Ukraine and the humanitarian efforts that are being provided to assist them where possible. Nothing can replace your home or your loved ones by any stretch. However, if there's some comfort that can be gained from the efforts that are being put together by the humanitarian appeals and the humanitarian companies, then all the better. So, in the glass, guys, lovely light gold there, really nice light gold. I'm just very surprised at his quarter cask, if true. I don't know. I mean, you can't depend on whiskey base 100%, but it's generally pretty accurate because they do tend to fact check before they accept information on there. Yeah, that aside, let's get on to the nose. I opened this last week and I thought at the time, do you know what? It's lovely whiskey, and it's only got better. That is stunning. It's like, weirdly, for me, it's like pure blackcurrant. Like blackcurrant jam and blackcurrant cordial. But then it opens up a little bit, it's slightly smoky. You've then got some of the vanillas that you might associate with ex-bourbon, but it's deeper, it's richer, it's earthier, it's mossy, it's like damp forest floor, that kind of thing. And don't get me wrong, I know that some tasting notes that people such as myself put out there sound ridiculous, and they are. Is it sweet? Is it spicy, etc.? Yeah, sometimes it's a bit of elaboration, a bit of, je ne sais quoi. It's kind of what's needed. And for something like this, I think it's well deserved. It's just very multidimensional. It's incredibly rich. It's simple but complex at the same time. It's multi-layered. However, each one of those flavours isn't necessarily complex. It just goes very well together. It's a very well harmonised, a very solid whiskey so far. Really nice. Kind of a treacle note as well, like big thick black treacle. Baked pastries, like croissant, really buttery, very oily. And I've said this on a couple of occasions on certain whiskies, they smell oily. And oil isn't necessarily smell, it's just kind of the feeling that you get around your nostrils and stuff. It smells thick. Do you know what I mean? Really, really good. And speaking of thick, I mean, there's some very slow legs going down the glass. Very good. On the palate, oh, now that's where the smoke lets itself known. Now, you could have got away with it on the nose, but I'll be honest, I'm assuming it's slightly peated, because on the palate there is this lovely full richness to it. It's just a pop and then it's there, it's evolving. Again, I said on the nose it's earthy, so's the palate, incredibly earthy, but a little bit of spice in there as well. Oh, God, that is good. And the texture is amazing. It's very oily, very thick, viscous spirit. Doesn't tell me whether it's a lightly peated spirit on the box either. So let's just run with the fact that the assumption, should I say, that it is. Again, this is my poor research because Wolfburn is still relatively new to me as a whiskey drinker. I think this bottle already shows me that I might need to pay a bit more attention in future. Definitely. We've got... what is that? Could even be some of the black currant that I mentioned from the nose, to be honest. It is oily. Lovely olive oil kind of texture. Lovely olive oil almost flavour as well, to be honest with you. It's kind of herbal. Into the finish in particular, I'm getting a bit of rosemary maybe, something like that. Alongside some pretty atypical ex-bourbon flavours, spiciness, bit of vanilla, bit of sweetness, bit of maybe orange, some sort of citrus. That's really nice. It's just a nice whiskey. There's no age statement on it, by the way, but I believe this to be around 7 years old, off the top of my head. But I think in this particular case, you can be kind of forgiven for not wanting all the information this time. You know, you can kind of let it slide. I'm not too bothered all the time, to be honest with you, as to how much information I get. Because I think I go in certain distilleries with open eyes, knowing the kind of practices that they undertake and things like that, whether it's coloured, etc. I think the focus on this bottle, it's not about showing on there too much info. It's about keeping your attention on that blue and yellow, and that is exactly what it should be about as well. So guys, overall, really, really lovely whiskey it is, and I'm not just saying that. I'm not just saying that because of the theme. It is a very, very good quality dram, very, very good quality casks, very, very good quality base spirit as well. Really, really nice. And rather than my usual send-off, I'm going to say Slava Ukraine. Thanks for watching. See you soon.